I am in Reve 2.0, and the link is in the description. Reve 2.0 is brand new. It actually debuted at number 2 in the text to image category on the leaderboard, beating out Gemini, beating out Nano Banana. So pretty impressive. It's right behind ChatGPT's also a very excellent image generator. However, this gives us a lot more control that none of the other models have, and I'll be showing you that in this demo. You get on this page and you can find a number of different things that have been created within Reve, and you can click on any of those and start remixing them to create something else, and that's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to go into this posters section, and I found a poster. It has some text and some images, so you can kind of see how it works, and we'll make some changes. And if you'd like to, you can follow along with something similar at the same time. I'm going to click on this Alpine Summit poster, and you'll start to see why this is so wonderful. People are saying this is a Photoshop killer. I would argue not quite yet. There's a lot of things that you can't do. You can't use visual guides. However, for the most part, what it will do to an image is it will create it as a separate layer or a separate object that you can change. And I'll show you that right now because we're going to change this text. And it's excellent with text. I'm going to change this light blue sky, background image. Let's change Summit to Las Vegas. As I start doing things, you'll see that there is red dots that pop up here to let you know that there's a prompt or a change in there that hasn't happened. Change that to Las Vegas, pants top of the frame, wispy white clouds, and I'm going to take out, well, did a quick look on Google and found a Vegas slogan. Paste that on there instead. Built on hopes, dreams, and a little bit of crazy. And we'll change that text. I'm going to orange. Let's make this bright hot pink letters. And you'll see it'll make that change and leave everything else alone, which is all we've ever asked for, right? So I'm going to click apply. These edits do take some time. They take about a minute a piece, which is slower than I'm used to with some things, but about where we were, I guess, about maybe a year ago. As it does come to develop, it sort of looks like it's developing as a picture. It's got this weird interface where it almost looks like it's coming out of Mercury and rising, and kind of creates something visually interesting to watch where you can kind of see what's going to happen. These boxes you can see are the different elements, and you can interact with each of these different elements, specifically just what's in that box without it messing up anything else, which is wonderful for photo restoration, where a problem constantly is when you are trying to make a change to a tiny portion of a picture and something else gets messed up over here. So that makes this just such a wonderful tool to use. All right, I can see it's doing my text. I love that. We can add and remove things. What is mountain 3? Remove mountain 3. You can interact with each of those individual pieces. If you're used to using Photopea or Photoshop, you can think of it almost as a layer, and you can interact with just a layer and do your business just on that layer without hurting any of the other ones. You can also just prompt down here in this main prompt box for instructions for the entire image. And have to click down here to the next iteration that it shows me, and you can see it has removed that mountain. It was here, and now it's gone. Here, gone. So another thing you can see here that's very useful is that all of your iterations are here on the side. So if it goes bananas and does something completely that you don't want, you can just go back up to the last good version. You don't have to start a whole new conversation as you've seen me do in other videos. You can just go one up and try again with a different attack. Actually not going to keep any of this stuff that's at the bottom. What I'm actually going to do is upload a cool picture I found, cool 50s picture or 60s picture I found. And I'm just going to drag this in here. I could also have used this paper clip. And it's calling this number 1. So I could reference it directly by saying do blah, blah, blah to @1. But since I'm only uploading one thing here, it knows that this is the picture that I'm talking about. So I'll just tell it what I want to do. Right. Now I'm going to add this cool picture and get rid of all this stuff on the bottom. And click go. Oh, I didn't mean to get rid of this text. I'm actually not in love with it, so it's fine. You got to be very careful with your prompts. You got to be very careful with your prompts in this and be very specific. I meant to say all text at the bottom, but I said all text, so it's actually going to get rid of this text as well. Doesn't matter. I was just using that to show you that you can change it. Right? Is it in here? Do 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 do. It's still in progress. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Here's what I uploaded. Here's this. Oh my goodness. All right. Womp womp. Yeah, something happened there. So this is, let me look at this guy here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try this again. I'm not sure if that's it or it's me. I think when I said all text, I actually made it get rid of the Las Vegas text, and that's not what I meant. So now I get to show you what I meant is that all is not lost if you screw up. So this my picture here. Okay, so this is the generated image. This is what it created. Yeah, it got rid of everything, but it did generate an image. It took away all text, so it took away Las Vegas. So it just blew all of that away. It did create different individual layers for each of these things. So woman number 2, I can change that right here. And I can put her in a red bathing suit. I can have her doing a backflip. I can, change whatever I want directly in these prompts. I can delete or add anything that I want, and it won't mess anything else up. So I'm going to go back to this one, which is where I messed up with the last prompt, and do a better job at prompting and say, please remove all mountains cloud 2. Well, this is text 2. What do you call it, buddy? Okay, text 3. Text 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So this says generated text when I mouse over it. However, when I hover over it, it shows me over here. It's called text 4. And each of these individual lines has its own addressable box. So I put in all of those numbers. So make sure I got that right. This generated is text 3. Okay. Cloud 2. Yeah. So please remove all the mountains. Cloud 2, text 3, text 4, text 5, text 6, 7, and text 8 from the image. Also remove. Oh, I already had cloud 2 in there. Also remove slope. replace the bottom. I'm not going to re-upload that image since it already did all that nice work for me, parsing out that picture into all the individual pieces. All right, let's rock. It's rock and roll. All right, so looking at this one, it should keep this text, although I'm not sure I'm going to keep it in the end, but I explicitly asked it basically get rid of all these mountains and this cloud and this text 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. And I'm going to click run. It's going to look good. Pretty much at that point, I'll be done. We'll see where this text looks, or if it looks good. I might take it out. I might do something to make it pop a little bit more. I don't know how it's going to look when I have the other stuff underneath it. I probably want to do something to make the colors pop a little bit more, to make this more of a fun, bright blue sky, and then we'll be done. All right, I can see here that it has completed its work. Yeah, that looks nice. Say increase the contrast and brightness of the sky and lettering to make the words Las Vegas really pop. So Reve is free to use. And you can use it, I think they said 20 pictures a day. So you can generate 20 pictures. And I think it's 20 things a day. It's pretty generous. It's pretty generous for free. There's a lot of tools that are getting pretty skimpy with how much you can use them for free. You can be a little dangerous on 20 a day. If you want to do a little bit more, but you don't want to go all in, their first tier of a subscription is $8, $7.99 or something like that. And you can do that for a month and then not digging it, just go crazy and then just cancel it if you want to. And then you can also upgrade. I think if you upgrade to the $20 plan, you can use it like 100 times as much. So if you find yourself that you're really in here, not a bad price. It's about what most models cost per month these days. It says it's brightening up the sky and punching up that pink type. All right, it is done. So here's where we are now. And here's my new one. Oh, it's kind of still thinking. When you've just rendered something and all your stuff is gray, that means it's not done thinking. Okay, so this is what we had before. It's cool, but it's a little And then we pumped up for that last thing as we made it nice and crisp. That really sinks. Okay, I'm very happy with this just exactly as it is. From here, we now have all of these things broken out into separate layers. So we can change this woman. We can have her be doing a backflip. We can change the text on her little ladder there. We can do something with this woman 2, or her lounge chair. I think that's a woman, but it's labeled man. Woman 3 all the way over here doing a high kick. We can get rid of, this tree or that tree. Whatever changes we want to make, we can make specifically to the item. You can see how it's just highlighting that item, and then you can prompt and do whatever you want to that specific item. Down here, obviously this little paperclip, that's how you would add images. And it'll ask you if you want to use that as a reference image just for inspiration, or if that's something that you want it to take literally. The different items in here, you can reference with an @ symbol. If you have 3 things that you've uploaded, you can say @3, do this, @4, put that in the sky. And then this little /, you can actually create a video directly from this frame, or from a prompt, or from references. Over here, you can do a count. So instead of just generating this one image, I could put in a prompt and have it make 4, I think up to 8 different versions. You're going to burn up your credits pretty quickly when you do that. But it gives you a way to generate through different ideas very quickly. The aspect ratio allows you to change things to common sizes that are used for Instagram or Facebook or X or YouTube or wherever you want to post something if you're going to be doing that. This is just a 1x1 square. Use attachments, and you can choose whether they're used literally or as inspiration. And you can also give it custom instructions to make sure that it's following an overall preset vision that you have. And that's helpful, especially if you have a brand or a specific look and feel, and you have specific rules that you need it to stay within. You can just put that right here. All right. Last thing I'm going to do is download my image. If you found this helpful, please like, please subscribe. If you see a, what is it called? What is it called? Hype. Hype is something new on YouTube for teeny tiny creators such as myself. And I don't know what it does, but it helps us. So if you see that and you like this video, click hype. And if there's anything that you'd like to see in a future video, leave me a comment and let me know. Have a wonderful day, and thanks so much for watching.